Uh, 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 yeah. Hells yeah. Oh, yes, man. I didn't see you there. Hi, are you feeling good? Oh man, you just missed it. We had a hell of a quiz. Yeah, you like the Mikey quizzes, right?
Yes.
Man, your boy Justin, he's pretty good at those. No.
How did you wrote him into a corner?
Supernova Girl's just like, too soon. So call off the fights.
He's already dead.
Oh man.
Mikey, you operate in an element of my life that I don't know if anybody else has ever been, nor do I think will ever be. Somebody who is able to infuriate me on a level that few people have, and yet I still love you.
I'll tell you what, man. Kudos on perfectly channeling.
I'm not moving to hurt you. I write quizzes and then I just see how you react. And as it turns out, you get the most mad every time. But like, I'm not writing them thinking like, oh, this will get him.
I do want to give. Hold on, but
not writing them like that.
But before we talk about that, I just want to say, like, kudos for entering that fugue state rant and landing it. Like that was a long burst of white hot energy with nary a slip up or a flub the entire time. It was gorgeous. Like, that only happens when your spirit is elevated to hate heaven. And from there you draw hate god powers.
Well, Brian, I look forward to listening to it for the first time.
Finding out what you said.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing it because I don't really, there was not much thought happening.
Yeah, that one was hard actually because it didn't have descriptions.
Oh God,
it was just like the car names, and I was like, okay, this has to. Like, I knew that number 3 had to be Nissan Pokemon Battle Wagon Movie Special Edition 2000, because that sets the stage. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. You
have to think about like what order and. I don't know. Well, I appreciate what this show gives me. Because, like, no one else gives this to me. Like, no one else will react to me with just putrid, rotting anger.
Oh.
Like, you will react. And it gives me joy.
Well,
it gives me air.
I mean, also, literally 5 seconds ago, you said, I don't write these things to hurt you. And then you said, your putrid anger gives me fire and air.
I don't write them to hurt you, but I am fueled by it hurting you.
I just
let's understand the distinction.
Draw energy from your pain.
I do draw energy from your pain. If you haven't realized that at this point, God, we're in trouble.
And I look forward to delivering as I suck butt at your quizzes repeatedly. I will say this: we got to figure out another trip to Vegas though, because that was so goddamn fun. And there's no Scoop Fest this year, so I don't know.
No, really?
There's no Scoop Fest?
No, they're bumping it another year because they just wanted to take an off year to figure out a way to do it bigger. Also, I think that they wanted to switch the time of year. I think they want to do it earlier in the year as opposed to later. So this is more like a bump by a couple months.
Let's start a separate email chain because we all need to go to Vegas at that time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. 150%. That was too goddamn fun hanging out last.
Yeah. And then we can just only hang out in casinos, which
family slots.
Family slots.
Such a blast. Hey, Bryce, we got titles?
We do have some shit titles. We take a look at nightattack.show.tv, including our top titles like I Want to Be a Dentist and Rudolph the Red. I don't remember this dentist bit.
Oh, we were talking about like how do you stretch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer into an hour-and-a-half movie. And it's like you staple I Want to Be a Dentist on it.
Fuck You and Your 58% Friends, Movies with Josie.
Start talking about musicals and suddenly Mikey can't call in. The musical curse.
Oh my God! It continues.
So good. Mikey, I don't know if you know this, but the last 3 times we've booked musician friends on the show, they've been unable to join us at the last minute. And we spent like the whole musical thing happened because we couldn't call you on the right account on Skype, and so they were just vamping about musicals.
Oh,
and so the musical.
Yeah,
curse continues.
I was watching Twitch, and I'm watching chat, and chat's like, why isn't Mikey here? Why isn't Mikey here? In this movie's a Mike? What the shit?
Yeah, Skype.
And I'm like,
Skype, man.
Well, I've called into this show like a million times. Like, I guess I'm not ready.
dude,
apparently, accounts got mixed up.
Yeah.
No. Believe you me, 15 minutes into the musical conversation, I was also saying, "Where's Mikey?" in my head.
Where's Mikey? Yeah. I swear to God, Skype. Can I just 1 minute about this Skype thing?
Go.
Okay. So you know when you make an account, right, and they ask you to make a username, and you're like, "This is my username." Skype likes to also just create like a secondary account called live : and your username, and sometimes that is a completely different person or a completely different account.
Huh.
But also, it doesn't like to show all of the accounts when you search for accounts.
Oh, because there's too many now, or
I
You
don't know.
usually call me on the second account.
Yeah, that's
will
the other
say
thing is
that.
I think the last time we called Mikey, that was before we moved to NDI and had his
Because I was
proper account.
looking at like 9:55. I'm like, I'm staring at, and it's not even online. So
Yeah.
I was,
Oh, right. Yeah. So we're doing the single account method now instead of 2. In any case, Skype.
that's fine.
I do love this title, but it does tip stuff. The was it Brian Legend?
Brian Legend is perfect.
Oh, I guess that does fit in with the legend on Hearthstone.
Right. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I would assume that's what it's about.
I thought I thought it was about the quiz, but that is pretty good.
No, it is. But like Brian was the name I called you for years.
That's true. I guess the only thing I don't like about that is it
years.
implies that there's lots of Hearthstone talk, which might turn some people off.
Yeah. An ending buffet of torture is pretty good.
Unending
That's a
buffet of
clickable
torture is great.
You ever heard of
Blitch?
That sounds like an uncool dad trying to make like a Snoop Doggy style.
What up, my Blitich?
Whatever, who cares? We're all going to hell's pretty good.
Volkai, all the Hearthstone live talk is in the pre-show, so that's where you want to find
you missed it. Tim Trash Burton.
No, we never got here. We'll have to freshen up the Tim Burton conversation for Mikey once we get our title here.
Yeah.
The Music Man is Punishment.
What is the Tim Burton conversation?
We'll get in it because that's probably going to be a deeper
Yeah,
thing.
you probably have plenty to chime in on.
Wonk exit. It was Brian doing a Brexit bit was very funny to me. I didn't think Brian knew enough about Brexit to start making like the will of the people says that we must exit.
I mean, it was pretty easy since it was literally like I was seeing chatters who were doing like, "Don't you fucking cave on this."
Nissan Jumper Joink is pretty good.
Nissan
I
Jumper
do like
Joint.
that.
Just so Jumper Joink comes.
Jumper Joink is one of my favorite fucking words ever.
I like that. Like I just willed that into existence.
Just jam slunt jumper joint.
Jam slunt jumper joint.
Wait,
I
this
don't know
time
what
it was.
it is. It just always fucking like makes me smile. Jam slunt jumper joint.
Because it's so obviously bullshit.
Our top voted one is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Dentist.
Yeah.
But Unending Buffet of Torture is so good.
I like an unending buffet of torture.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, we'll do that. All right, thank you to Renagu who submitted that title and everyone who submits show titles using the Mangus command in the chat rooms. I'm going to go write an email while these guys talk about Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Mikey, Brian has been showing his 11-year-old daughters a bunch of movies, old movies, and they watched Beetlejuice. And Brian, what was your opinion of Beetlejuice?
I watching it again.
Yeah.
It is yes, everything I loved about it is still there, but it is a hot mess of a nonsense story. There's literally
welcome to Tim Burton movies.
okay. So this is what I bring this up. We talk about I talk through all the faults that Beetlejuice's nonsense story has, and then Justin says, "Is the world ready for a discussion about whether or not Tim Burton was maybe never good, but instead just a great cinematographer and set piece designer that for some reason keeps being allowed to direct movies?"
He latched himself onto some people that were on the rise, and they are charismatic specimens. But
yeah, I think like Tim Burton begins and ends with Edward Scissorhands, and like, what does Edward Scissorhands mean? It's about people that are different being accepted, and like, does it hold up the same way now? Does it say the same things now? And I don't think so.
yeah, I mean that's the thing, and people keep bringing up Big Fish. I like Big Fish too.
Big Fish is good.
But I'll tell
Right,
you
best.
what, I also haven't watched it in fucking 15 years since it came out.
Well, what's your favorite Tim Burton movie? Let's go there.
If I were to say,
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, bar none. Pee-wee's Big Adventure is actually has a it's a perfect quest movie.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
It's a hero's journey, and it has a plot, and it advances, and there's not a wasted moment the entire time.
I agree with that.
If I were to, all the Tim Burton movies are fighting, and only one can live. I would say it's probably either that or Nightmare. Nightmare, I mean, to me is his other most complete kind of movie.
Yeah,
both those
did-
movies owe a lot to
I
other
believe-
people that aren't Tim Burton, by the way.
Did somebody in the chat was saying, like, did he not direct Nightmare Before Christmas, or
No, he did. He didn't. But
he didn't. He
I
just
don't-
had his name on it.
Yeah. Ed Wood is a very good pull.
Yeah.
Because that movie actually was about something.
Yeah.
My favorite Tim Burton movie is Sleepy Hollow, because I'm broken. It's such a perfect Sleepy Hollow. It's so good to me. Casper Van Dien gets ripped in twain. It is perfect.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Nobody's saying Dark Shadows. Let's just
Yeah,
let's
no.
just be fair here.
where are we at on 89 Batman?
It's great. It launched so much. Like, you have to look at the
did.
influence of the thing. And Batman 1989 inarguably influenced so many things. So
And-
it operates at that level.
So, all right, but that because I think Tim Burton is probably a director who influenced a lot of people and influenced a lot
Absolutely.
in terms of strong art direction and taking a very specific singular style and making it your own. Can an influential director not be a great director though? Because I mean, even like with
Yes.
like
No, yeah, absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Because they're making art that makes other people make different art.
Yeah.
And I think I think there would be more young filmmakers working today that would list Tim Burton as an influence without necessarily being like, oh, the god of story, Tim Burton.
yeah,
Said no one ever.
No one says
Yeah.
that. But there is a je ne sais quoi to what Tim Burton does that I think is a replicatable
Oh, that's
thing.
interesting. MDTA UK brings up George Lucas, so that's a club that the two of them can share, inspiring a bunch of people,
absolutely,
but being real spotty. Oh, Mars Attacks I thought was delightful, and what an amazing accomplishment to have. I believe there are 18 main characters in that movie, and
Yeah.
somehow
Tom Jones.
you keep track and follow all of them. And for some reason, they have Jack Nicholson playing two separate characters for no reason. It's so bizarre. I love it.
I mean, it's very much like Mars Attacks was that like 1950s sci-fi pastiche,
Yeah.
and that was all he was doing. Was
Yeah.
that because the movie exists on that level.
Yeah.
Also Tom Jones and whatever else, but like
And Danny DeVito and Jack Black was in it.
Jack Black's in everything now.
Well, this is before he was in everything. This is when he was. I mean, I watched that whole movie, and then years later.
I think you will find that he was in everything before he even was a guy. He's in
He was in
weird.
Water.
He shows up in the Jackal, Enemy of the State.
Got that movie before I thought.
Like, dude, Jack Black is in Never Ending Story 3.
What?
That's all I'm saying. That dude was in everything before he was Jack Black.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, man, Tim Burton, that guy.
He's in the Bible. Nobody saw that coming.
He's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh no, you want to know what? It's something that I've actually been meaning to ask you, Mikey. Literally since I watched the Batman and Robin thing that you did at Scoop Fest last year.
Yeah.
You had all these great stuff about the behind the scenes and how tortured of a production it was and stuff to take away from it. But the one thing that I remember the most from behind the scenes on that movie was the Alicia Silverstone controversy that apparently she had gained weight and the crew was making fun of her and stuff like that. And that was something that you did not touch on. Was that something that you deliberately wanted to stay away from, or it just didn't fit what you were going for?
It can't. I mean, it's the latter for sure. I don't know if I'm the guy. I mean, I do know I'm not the guy actually that talks about because like the crew and whatever else, that's shit happens on a movie. But it was the press that specifically went after her in very unfair ways about her weight. And like, what am I going to add to that conversation that will make an entertaining piece about Batman and Robin the fuck up? You know what I mean? Like, the press was demonstrably horrible.
Which I remember was kind of weird even at the time because behind the scenes movie press wasn't near what it would become at that point. Like it existed still largely to kind of promote film. Celebrity press was still kind of in its infancy in the like 90s and heading into the it was
I mean, that does all, and I love that you asked that sort of coming out of the Tim Burton question with 89 Batman. These were sequels to that
movie,
film.
Yeah.
and we've gotten so far away from whatever he envisioned, but we were starting to get gossip websites and movie gossip websites, and like we were going for this very specific thing, and it spiraled out of control at that moment. And I think that sucks.
Well, yeah, I mean, because previous to that, entertainment journalism was largely like a different division of business journalism. It was like, look at this investment that is going into this thing. Boffo returns. Your career.
Boffo.
Yeah, your career is on the rise because you've made a bunch of money. Like, money lost. This star's dimming. Like, but it wasn't like, guess who's fucking? And you got fat. Like, look how quick you lost baby weight. Are you pregnant? Like that was really stuff that happened in the late 90s and then obviously kind of supernovas in the 2000s.
I guess I don't know how you can make that a meaningful conversation.
Well, yeah,
like,
I guess
it was garbage when they did it then, and it's exceptionally garbage now.
I guess that might have been me misremembering then that it was more about like the crew was really that's where the story came from, that the crew was being mean to her, or that the director or the producers or whatever were being really harsh with her, and then the press obviously kind of feed on that and turn it into this thing.
I think it's sort of a morsel in a larger meal / story where like it sucks to be Alicia Silverstone. Is actually what her career was, because she was in some big movies and she was the it girl for a second, and being the it girl means that we will unfairly hold you to standards of other people.
Speaking of
and it never got good. That's still her story, and it sucks.
Speaking of the insanity that passed for journalism in the aughts, did you ever get around to reading Conspiracy by Ryan Holiday about the?
No.
Okay. Wait, man, still highly recommended. It's
one day
great.
You'll be the first to know, Brian, as soon as I start that audiobook.
I can't wait for the Weird Things pick where it's like, I'm on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
Remember 10 years ago?
Just get sponsored by Audible, and then Justin can be like, I'm listening to this great book. I'm listening to it right now. You will have an example ready to go. Audible.
True. The other thing is, I don't know if they do podcast ads though.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Have you listened to a McElroy podcast? They absolutely do.
I'm just joshing you.
I know. I just wanted to drop the McElroy. Bring some class to this podcast.
Oh,
no,
finally.
I'm actually really, I'm at a point now where I can actually start entertaining listening to other things that aren't about the years between 1958 and 1961. So I'm at the point where I can now start listening to things for fun, which is good.
I'm glad you got there.
Well, thank you. Hey, Mikey, random question. Whose idea was it to do the title card sequences and tales for the Borderlands? They are genius.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with Tales other than I voiced a character in it, but I can't answer that. That's a Telltale question.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
I mean, I know some people that do know. It's not me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But they're all dead now.
My character is, so.
Yes. So stop asking.
Dude, you should have seen my Twitter when that last Borderlands DLC came out, and they're like, Scooter's dead? It was a whole thing.
Oh, no.
Whole thing. Telltale killed my... I died in Tales from the Borderlands. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
Catch a ride.
Mikey...
Spoilers. Sorry, I'm laughing at chat.
No, whatever.
Screaming spoilers. Like, it was years ago.
Is there anything cool that you've that you really liked in theaters lately? Or this summer? Or what is Mikey's movie of the summer so far?
I'm like, God. I thought Endgame was pretty good.
Yep.
Considering where I was on Infinity War, Endgame came around.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Yeah, I have not talked to you since Endgame, and obviously I loved your Infinity War review. Was something that I really felt was an important thing that I had not thought of, and you articulated really well. So where from your critique of Infinity War, what was your take on Endgame?
They didn't solve some of my problems with Infinity War, but it was easy enough to ignore because the movie was cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the emotional arc of, like, where are we out on spoilers for Endgame? I'm sorry.
Oh, I think we're free.
Fair game. If you're listening now, no matter where you are, like, we're just gonna talk the hell out of this.
Right. So there's a key death at the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
And that the moment of I am inevitable, I am Iron Man, that hit me so hard in the theater. But like, it wasn't that the story was this earned thing. It was that Robert Downey Jr. has struggled for like 20 years
Yeah.
in Hollywood. And like there's this moment of like, I made it. I did it. I did the thing. I
Yeah.
did it. This is the end of the thing. I did the thing. Like that hit me hard. So
Like-
I really enjoyed it.
So you really, it was the meta, the meta of like,
Yeah.
you know, Robert Downey Jr. was this young upstart that obviously has this very troubled life, and it is a promise squandered, and then at this moment where a gigantic franchise that has like moved the fortunes of a mega corporation gives him his gigantic hero moment, swan song. It's like, you fucking done did it. That'll do,
You
pig.
done did it, bud. You really have to sort of like go back and understand how messed up it was for like movie news sites and whatever else, like when Iron Man was cast and they were like, it's Robert Downey Jr. and everybody's like,
Yeah, I was really surprised
that guy?
I was really surprised that was the reaction, because the moment I heard it, I was like, that was positively inspired. I wonder how many folks were unfamiliar with, you know, the whole alcoholism arc that Tony Stark goes through, and if that didn't, like, the moment I heard it, I was like, of course, that's going to be brilliant.
Well, I mean, yeah. There is the kind of element of like, oh my god, if they're ever gonna do Demon in a Bottle, he's gonna fucking kill it. But also, he'd come off Wonder Boys and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, like that. He was having this little mini arc, back into like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. is like, you know, post Ally McBeal and all that stuff. Had really kind of re-cemented himself as an amazing actor. But yeah, I don't know. Endgame, I loved. It's like, the one thing I was not expecting Endgame to be able to do was surprise me. And
right. And then the whole movie is a surprise.
Yeah, it's like they go and they chop Thanos' fucking head off in the first 10 minutes, and you're like, oh, all right. Well, I guess, like, and then you're like, oh, we're going to do a time travel movie. We're going to go back to all of our favorite moments in the last 10 years. And I'm like,
and we're going to flirt with PTSD as a storyline and sort of do it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. My favorite thing about
storyline was a little.
My favorite retro fix to Infinity War was like, you know, Infinity War, the snap happens and everything evaporates, and it's just so abrupt that it's hard to really feel much of it. You get a little bit with Spider-Man or whatever, but the fact that they spend a luxurious 15, 20 minutes just soaking in the post 9/11 disaster of like you believe that this world is broken in its heart. I really dug that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cool movie. Made some choices at a few places. Like, I'm not all about Black Widow getting thrown off that cliff. That sucked again the second time, to be like, this is the cliff we throw women off of. Like, that sucks. Maybe go back to that cliff later, Marvel.
Look, I'm very much, and I get it. I get that
Just
there's
throw
this
Hawkeye off once. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Hawkeye's like trying to jump off, and then they're trying to save each other. So I get that point, but also
It's
like
a great moment.
Hawkeye is also
A mass murderer who murdered.
Who deserves to jump off that fucking cliff? And save his friend.
Although, by the way, ladies, get you a man who keeps paying your cell phone bill and keeps it charged for 15 years after you disappear in a mysterious ash accident, so you're able to call as soon as you get rematerialized. Good for him on that. But other than that, yeah, just wandering around the globe and murdering people, no matter how bad they are. Murdering other murderers does not make you like in the Balance of Power. The person who became the new intergalactic Nick Fury, and the person who just went around murdering drug dealers because he was sad for whatever 5.
Right.
Like, I'll go with the new intergalactic Nick Fury. I think she's probably going to be more of a worth to society.
Yeah, it's a tough one because they make that decision in the film because if everyone comes back, then he needs to be there for his family when they come back. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But you have now killed two female characters in Marvel movies, and you didn't even fuck with the last one. You killed Gamora, and you're like, whatever. And that's not awesome. But they got time. Got time.
No, they got nothing but time. I mean, they got a lot to fill. I mean, if anything, that was the one thing about Endgame that I'm like, all right, well, I really hope that they have some cool shit for the next phase because, like,
I think Guardians 3 is going to answer that.
Oh, I think
if Guardians 3 is the search for Gamora, I get it. Like, I get it. Because you're also trying to plan 15
I mean, I think we got a new Gamora from an alternate reality. It's pre ever having met or fallen in love with Star-Lord Gamora.
But that was the whole thing is that they don't know where she is, and there was like the insinuation of like, oh, did she get snapped out because she was technically part of Thanos' team? But of course, we probably know that she's not there. But he's looking for her as he gets into that argument with Thor.
Yeah.
I bet they find a way to write her back in.
Oh, I'm fairly positive.
They for sure will.
Yeah.
Well, no. But I think we're just going to be stuck with Gamora from alternate reality. Our Gamora is gone forever.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what. Well,
because then she just got killed by her dad.
It seems to me like this is a writer's dream. That means we get to take this character and retell the courtship in a totally new way in a context that the groundwork is already laid for and nobody will call us out for continuity.
Where she got murdered by her abusive father for shitty reasons? Okay. I'm just like, it's got to pay off in some way at some point, right?
Yeah, it pays off with us getting to rewatch a courtship where Star-Lord has to explain to Gamora that, well, in our timeline, we fell in love. What? I've never fallen in love with you. I'm still angry at my dad who's dead in this reality. It's I mean, it seemed pretty clear to me that that's going to be what this movie's about.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's got a lot of runway to work with, and also it's like, who knows what they're gonna do with all the new shit that they acquired with Fantastic Four and X-Men, and
Yeah, Disney also like bought the world, so yeah. Who knows?
Did you see Dark Phoenix, Mikey?
No. Was I supposed to?
I don't know. You're like the movie guy. You see what movie people see wacky.
Did you see Apocalypse?
I actually did on a plane, and I fucking walked out.
Did you see Dark Phoenix after Apocalypse?
No.
I'm just saying.
Why do you think I'm asking you? Because
I will watch it when it comes out on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Before then, nah, man.
Apocalypse was fucking aptly named.
Apocalypse was like, oh God.
Yeah, that was a. Bryce, do you have that new soundboard that you texted me?
Oh yeah. Let me pull that up.
Because I think Bryce has a sounder to give my review of X-Men Apocalypse.
It's not a labeled soundboard. I'm gonna have to.
Oh yeah, we can try it out. We can figure it out.
All right.
I'm actually curious if Mikey knows this.
Let's see. All right, here we go. Turn off silent.
Shut up, Paul.
What is that from?
Thinking.
There we go. That's it. Hey,
no
Bryce.
Space for more love.
This is amazing.
A gray steering wheel that doesn't whiz out of the window while I'm driving.
I was so bummed when I figured out that the order of those two, that the steering wheel falling off recall definitely happened before the sketch was written. That was such a bummer.
I don't don't know why that affected you. Like,
because otherwise, like, how amazing would that be if it was just a random called shot? You know, like somebody's trying to think of the silliest thing, and then they recall 1.4 million vehicles for this. What comedy writers thought would be the wackiest problem a car would have.
Mikey, have you seen I Think You Should Leave on Netflix?
Yes. I've seen episodes.
Tim Robinson.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the car.
Stinky.
The car idea. But yeah, that's my review is stinky.
I cannot think any good car idea because this guy keeps farting.
I am doing the best at this.
I'm sorry.
Wait, where is that one?
Oh my God! He admitted it! No space for mother-in-law. Now you have to marry your mother-in-law. What about if it is thinking inside?
Okay. The M. Fredrickson on Twitter made that. He's one of the Botnik guys. Oh. The replacement, those auto-generating keyboards things.
No, I have no idea what the fuck that is, but I think he's a god because he made something very funny.
I rewatched I Think You Should Leave the other night, and it was I must have spent 40 minutes just rewatching Baby of the Year and cutting back over and over because every line in that sketch is perfection.
Well, and even like when they end it,
fucking idiot, asshole.
When they end it, like, is he talking about the in-universe show of the baby pageant, or is he talking about the literal sketch that you're watching? Yeah. Where he goes, "Shut it down! This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea."
I mean, but it works both ways, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's so funny as a joke about the pageant because they have to set up that it's been going on for like 140 years so they can do the old babies that have died.
And then give the method by which they died.
And that's why I'm so conflicted about the oral. He didn't have to do the oral.
Yeah, Bart Harley Jarvis. Oh, the bad boy baby of the year. So fucking funny. God.
The mystery judge, they cut over to the shadow panel out of nowhere.
Brian, have you watched the documentary now with the bowling league?
No, I need to.
Robinson. It's good. It's pretty good.
That's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. It's,
what was the musical one they did last season about the co-op?
Co-op.
Oh God,
so funny.
Like of executions of jokes. Like you're never gonna be on that level.
Yeah, no.
It is so immaculately constructed.
At what point do we get the legit Mulaney musical? Like, it's got to happen at some point. He's like, because he had that hilarious fucking musical number on SNL with like the bodega thing. Him and Seth Meyers wrote all those co-op things. Like, he's got to have a musical idea kicking around there that's gonna get made.
I hope right? John Mulaney produces a musical called Bridge Troll. Because it feels very Mulaney.
That does feel Mulaney-esque.
Hello, I am the Bridge Troll.
But yeah, no, that whole documentary now season is fucking hilarious. The parody of The Artist Is Here is next level. That's like one of those where it's like, wow, this is actually kind of like an affecting documentary about like art, but it's like also Fred Armisen. You know, shocker! It's Fred Armisen doing a European accent where he's speaking English. But it's fucking great. He's great in it, and what's her Kate Blanchett is just fucking crushes it.
I mean, it's Kate Blanchett.
She Blanchetts it.
She's good in. Name another actor that was good in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I'll give you a minute. Like, who else but Kate Blanchett was great in that movie? God, I'm hiccuping.
It's fine. It happens to the best of us. What about that alien
There's
that shows
two
up?
beers. There's two.
Is that it? Yeah, those Rolling Rocks, those Latrobes.
These are gone.
They're in your belly, causing all these hiccups.
There's only two of them.
I don't know, that alien. My vote is that alien at the end that shows up and just kind of like winks before they take off in the fucking UFO.
He goes, it's crystal, and then that's
no, he just flicks his temple and it goes ding. He just takes off in his UFO.
Correct. That's exactly how that movie went.
How I remember it. And then Shia LaBeouf invents ska or some shit.
Everyone's favorite actor, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh God, that movie. They're doing another one, right? What the fuck?
Oh,
I don't think he's gonna be in it though.
Shia? No, I don't think Shia is. But enough. We're done. Done with these. I don't know. I don't know if I even want to go see it. I think that's a bad example.
Crusade was so perfect that it is tough.
Here's the only thing I'll say about Last Crusade, and actually as a movie historian, I'll be curious to see if you know a movie that predates it. Did it invent the total like nostalgia fucking craze of like that first 15 minutes with River Phoenix just having
like look up
every element, like why does he have a scar on his face? How did he get the hat? Like who did he like just that all that fucking like details that nobody gives a fuck about, and now we invent entire prequel series to understand. In my mind, it was born in The Last Crusade in that 15 minutes, which was amazing, but what hell hath it wrought?
Giving credit to Steven Spielberg for that, I think, is correct. Yeah. Whether or not it started there exactly. But, like, Spielberg, sure. Yeah, he caused it.
Yeah.
Because he did that a few times.
Yeah. No, he fucking loves it, this guy, Spielberg. Do you see this thing he's going to have on the Quibi? God, whenever this thing's going to fucking come out.
That sounds like a website that's launching.
It is. It is a website that is launching.
Wait, really?
Yeah, look, hey man, is standard half-hour television too epic of a journey for you to take? Well, then guess what? We have dump-sized minisodes that you could take a shit and watch some Spielberg shit. Both of you can just take a shit.
Go back one.
You could take a shit and you could take his
go
shit.
back one page.
Yeah,
to Jeffrey Katzenberg. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. My whole next episode of Movies and Mikey is about that guy because it's about Shrek. I call him Papa. It's a whole thing. Jeffrey Katzenberg is an interesting dude.
Look, for whatever you think about Jeff Katzenberg, the Quibi idea is that they're going to cut feature length or like television length stuff.
Go on, I hate it.
The talent into 10-minute chunks that you're going to watch via app on your phone vertically.
Mobile only.
That's
mobile only.
Is it vertically? I don't know if it's only vertically.
I don't know. Somebody said that in the chat, and I just fucking went with it. But it would not shock me if it's vertical only. And Steven Spielberg, the reason why I brought it up is this story that is writing a horror series for Quibi that they will only allow you to play at night. It will know when it's night.
Can we draw attention to Spielberg fighting the Oscars and whatever else about how you should experience entertainment, and then openly shitting on it at the same time? Like, you either must experience shit in the theater or you don't. I don't
also,
necessarily
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that Steven Spielberg does not go to the movie, wait in line, and get popcorn, shuffle to his seats with the rest of the hoi polloi. I'm smelling some bullshit here.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean is like he's lobbying the Oscars to say that Netflix doesn't deserve Oscars while launching a site that will actively cut down art into palatable pieces.
Yeah. Well, look,
And I think
and I love Spielberg, but like that's shitty, bro.
And I think since the Oscar voters pretty much came out and said, yeah, the voting season came and went, and he did not actually end up proposing those rules because he knew there was just no support for it. But there was a very weird like public relations push around the time that the dust was sort of settling on us, where it was like, well, the people at Spielberg's, at Amblin don't quite agree with it, and he, just kind of thinks it was this one, all sorts of like backpedaling on that stuff. Once, once he went on the Apple TV stage and announced the show, pretty much.
That was the moment people were like, I'm not sure you're in this, because you believe in the art form.
Oof. Such a weird thing.
But he made Jaws. Jaws.
Yeah. That's why they had him on the Apple TV thing.
He also created Jobs.
20 years ago. So you're working on a Shrek video? Is that what's the? Is it just like, what's up with Shrek, or is there?
No, it's called What Does Shrek Mean?
Oh.
Because Shrek exists in that like space where I'm trying to like align this with my camera, where it's both like ironic and nostalgic at the same time, which makes us treat it like we don't care, but we do. Mm-hmm. At least Shrek has like a character. I can't speak for everybody, but I don't know. I find that very interesting, so I'm sort of pulling that idea apart by making a spoof of Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh.
Called Mysteries What?
Oh, right, because you were I've seen you tweeted out some photos of you with the goatee, right?
Yeah, it's actually still there. It's clear because that's how my hair grows in. But I have to use a mascara brush on my beard every time we film, and it's weird. Yeah,
it looks so good.
Yeah, it looks so real, right?
That's amazing.
Do you have a fake character name?
Yeah, that is Detective Derek Fog Machine, retired.
Retired, of course.
Real car, by the way. I'm gonna say that's a real car.
I'm gonna go. I'm trying to make up points.
My favorite thing about Derek Fog Machine is that he's standing next to a fog machine, and he points and says "no relation," which is my favorite. My favorite. I love that. It's dumb, but like the point of the episode is about deconstructing. So like you watch an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, like a fake one, and then I take you down the rabbit hole. I'm very curious to see how people react to this episode. It's a lot.
Yeah. Do you have a?
It goes deep on Shrek, though.
Yeah.
Like I tell you everything you've never wanted to know. Do you know it was a book?
No.
Look at that.
Originally? Oh, okay. Oh.
Shit.
I think it's about to.
Gonna go get Shrek the book.
Get some receipts. Get those receipts for us. He might be going to the bathroom. Oh no, he's back.
No, he's bringing the book.
Oh my gosh, it's a kid's book. Oh my gosh. Hi.
I have the Shrek book. Sorry.
Wow.
Shrek! You gotta shout it because it's got an exclamation point.
Oh my fucking god! How did that not become bigger?
Hey, here's the page where Shrek kills a dude.
That's why.
Oh, he's breathing fire?
Yeah, he melts a dude. He like burns a dude in his armor alive.
Oh, that's metal.
Yeah, dude, Shrek is metal as fuck.
Does the donkey fuck a dragon in this book or in the sequel book?
Donkey is not in these pages.
Yeah.
The donkey is on like one page. It's very quick. It is not a thing.
Yeah. And the other thing is like because the movies are all about like fairy tales and
There's donkey.
Oh. Yeah, 2 pages. He likes parfaits.
Yeah.
But
actually, the fairy tale thing is only in the movie, and I talk about that as well. Is like Shrek, the book, is very much about like believing in yourself no matter who you are, which is fine. It's a great message. And you have this movie about making fun of people that abuse fairy tales. Like, Shrek is the most anti-Disney movie ever made.
Oh, sure.
Which comes from Jeffrey Katzenberg, who quit Disney to go found DreamWorks. And, like, it's the most dishonest thing ever, and yet it's actually worthwhile criticism. So
it's Shrek also just has had such a weird staying power in culture. Like I obviously those movies were gigantic and I enjoyed watching them when I first saw them, but I would not have guessed that it would have, for whatever reason, the like meme capabilities of
five.
I mean, I think a lot of the ironic stuff is how you dress up visiting something that secretly you're just digging because it's good. Like, I remember there is nothing I thought more hilarious than playing Milli Vanilli songs, 2 years after the controversy of Milli Vanilli. But then also, those are well-produced pop hits. There's a reason that they went supernova. Yeah.
Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. It's the perfect being slightly inebriated song. Because when you hiccup, the ooh, ooh, ooh is fine. It's fine. There was one right there.
And then to bring it back to the Matrix, they were those albino twins.
Yep, that's it. The Matrix 2, everyone's favorite film, as they all. People are always like coming up to me. They're like, Matrix Reloaded. That's the best one.
That's a common thing. It's said all the time by everybody.
It's all the time. It's actually shocking. People are always coming up to me at Main Event. Do you have that? Where do you live? I don't even know like how big of a footprint Main Event has.
We've got a Main Event up on the north side of town here. It's one of those adult arcade Dave and Buster type things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bowling alley / arcade.
Guys, we're talking about. I thought it was just like a phrase. No, so it's like a barcade kind of thing, or
yeah. And kids go there all the time, but you can also drink, and there's a bar. So I don't know. Main Event,
Man,
all right. Well,
you want to wrap it up?
We're gonna lose steam here. Yeah. You want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, dude. All right, dude. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It's good times. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Enjoy this random song.
Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. You lose. Contract signed by him. You get washed. You get sterilized. You get nothing. Good day. You lose. Wrong, sir, wrong. I said wrong, sir, wrong. You get wrong, sir, wrong. I said wrong, sir, wrong. You lose. Black and white, black and white. All there. Black and white, black and white. All there. Black and white, black and white. All there. Clear as crystal. You lose. Good day, good day. Nothing. You lose. Get good day, good day. Nothing. You lose. Get good day, good day. Nothing. You lose. Get good day, good day. Nothing. You lose. You get nothing. You get nothing. You get nothing. Clear as crystal. You lose. Black and white, black and white. All there. Black and white, black and white. All there. Black and white, black and white. All there. Clear as crystal. You lose. Fax mentis incendium gloria culpum memo bis punitor della